快传送点！对，你看这梨好肉，跟来的是不是旧肉？那还刮好的梨好，这都是旧的。看起是大白菜的，洗好的小白菜，大白菜样子的，梗车的道啊，梗车的道了，好嘛，让运来运过来的，那边是。
在我们这边公卫中心，我们有几例也是做了一个血浆疗法。血浆疗法就是恢复期的血清过来给病人用，是不是？那我在这里可以给出的一些结论是什么呢？在这边的重症的病人用了恢复期血浆以后，我们可以促进他的一个病毒的转移，这是我们预想的，对吧？但事实上也是这样的。但是在这里我又要开始讲了，任何一个疗法在我们今天的治疗里面，都只是占了其中的一部分。世界上不会有你电影里面看到的那种情形。我把一个康复期的血浆一输进去以后，这个病人就开始神奇般的开始恢复，从床上坐了起来，然后开始吃饭、行走，这个是不可能的，一点可能性都没有。
3 more cases have been confirmed in the UK, bringing the total up to 23. While the UK has seen a small rise in coronavirus cases, the biggest jump in the world today is South Korea. At this railway station, passengers are replaced by soldiers, spraying disinfectant in all directions. And in North Korea, their state media are reporting that Kim Jong-un held a big meeting with his party and warned there could be serious consequences if the illness spreads to his country. Iran has the highest death toll outside of China. Official numbers say 43 people have died, but reports say that number could be closer to 200.
Increasing cases in the United States, and we expect to see increasing cases locally.
The CDC says a man in his 50s with underlying health conditions has died, and he had no known travel to China. The state also confirms an outbreak at a long-term care facility, 2 people associated with the facility testing positive, and more than 50 patients and staff now being tested.
We're in the process of investigating this situation as an outbreak.
One of those cases is a woman in her 70s in serious condition. President Trump gave a late afternoon press conference before the CDC confirmed the death.
Unfortunately, 1 person passed away overnight, medically high-risk patient.
The president and his team attempting to calm the nation's fears.
There's no reason to panic at all. This is something that is being handled professionally.
The country as a whole, because we get asked that all the time, still remains at low risk. But when we say that, we want to underscore that this is an evolving situation.
This brings the total number of Americans diagnosed with COVID-19 to at least 69. The CDC investigating at least 8 cases of unknown origin, which means the patients did not travel outside the country, nor did they have contact with symptomatic individuals. At least 3 states, Washington, Oregon, and California, are now seeing cases of community spread. A high school student in Washington among those cases, and possibly the youngest, now in quarantine.
We elected to close it in an abundance of caution and care for the children and adults in our schools and community.
Coronavirus has turned deadly in Australia. We've recorded the first death from the disease since its outbreak 8 weeks ago.
Health experts say it's likely the virus will spread in the community within the next 3 to 6 months.
Senator, you've been highly critical of China throughout your career. What's your reaction or perspective on how China has handled the coronavirus in general, and are they doing enough today?
No, they're not doing enough, Jason. China has had engaged in rampant malpractice, dishonesty, deceitfulness from the very beginning. If they hadn't concealed the outbreak of this virus in early December from the World Health Organization and from their own people, they might not have only protected their own people more effectively, but prevented it from spreading so far around the world already. They are still lying to their own people. They're still lying to the world. They are responsible for the spread of this virus outside of their own borders. That's one reason why we need to take a new look, once again, at our entire relationship with China, in particular, the relationship we have in trade, where we have so many of our medical devices and equipment or even basic pharmaceuticals manufactured in China. I think that's a real surprise to most Americans. It's something I've been working on for a long time to try to change. I suspect that's going to change in the months ahead.
Welcome back. Worries over the coronavirus have caused a stock market sell-off, with the Dow Industrials and the S&P 500 down about 12% just in the last 5 trading sessions. About $2 trillion in lost market value. Former White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon called that weeks ago on this program. He said he expected to see a slower economy and a market disruption. He joins me right now. Steve Bannon is the host of the wildly successful War Room Pandemic. You had that pandemic series on before anybody was talking about this.
6, 7, 8 weeks ago.
You saw this coming. You talked about this on this program. First, your reaction to what you heard from Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Marco Rubio about China.
I think you had some breaking news here about China, particularly from Vice President Pence. Number one, the CDC actually has gone. Looks like hopefully they went to Wuhan. They've gone to China as part of it looks like the WHO team. They looked at some raw data. In addition, and I think this is very powerful because I kind of fall more into the super hawk category with Senator Rubio. The president is continuing to push President Xi for more data and more transparency, and that needs to be done here. Remember, one of the most powerful things President Trump has done, in addition to the bold action early on, is to say nothing is inevitable. He's kind of reached back to FDR and says what we have to fear is fear itself. Okay? And we need to get all the information out there and take bold action. Remember, he shut down travel, from China back in late January, and Joe Biden said this is nativist, this is xenophobe, just a typical kind of identity politics attack when President Trump bought us time and also stopped potentially the inflow of other people that were infected. Yeah. That's why we're in the shape we're in today, that we can actually get our hands around this and start to get the local authorities up to speed with this task force he's got that Mike Pence, who's a steady pair of hands, is on top of. So I think this is all about bold action. Remember, Nancy Pelosi attacked him. Trump doesn't know anything. And President Trump comes back and says, hey, we got to stop the partisan nonsense. We have to rise above this. This is a national challenge. This is why the United States is the indispensable nation. We have the economy, we have the expertise, and we have the will. And President Trump, I think, is showing that. And I think in Pence's interview, you saw the nuggets down there. The people like Rubio and ourselves would naturally say, hey, everything the CCP says is a lie. They spin everything. There's a story out today. They suppressed this. They probably lost 2 months. They probably lost all of December, most of January suppressing it. But President Trump looks like he's forcing Xi to get more accurate information.
让中国人，让全世界人民了解中共的真相，了解艮武义共的病毒的真相，是唯一关上潘多拉盒子，找到解药，避免人道灾难的唯一方法。政治家停止玩弄、操弄、利用湖北武汉人道灾难和这次的人类的疫情，干实事儿，说真话，真行动，确实认识到武汉疫情是全人类的挑战和灾难，集体合作。全世界的金融家别再想着在这上发财，那你真是找死呢啊！全世界的经济家都要把自己利用中国人对整个上天给我们的地球这种伤害，给你们带来的财富，你马上还回去，或者去救赎，你有机会。我们每个人都要问自己，自己在中国有没有干过坏事儿，有没有让中国人过度的开发、过度的生产、过度的消费，和造成的新霾，然后导致了雾霾，然后导致了上天现在必须做出调整。电脑里塞满了， 硬盘里都是垃圾邮件，你必须调整，重新启动删除。在这个时候，你想你自己完美，自己完身而退，那是幻想。啊，这就是现实。你看看世界所谓的严肃媒体，所谓的世界媒体，谁敢说共产党半个不字儿？谁敢面对真正的武汉要灭掉人类的疫情？谁敢说几句有良知的话？福布斯稀稀拉拉的讲几句，还吓得他战战兢兢。这是关于全人类的生死存亡，人类的整个未来，地球的未来的事上，大家一切向前看，一切向全看。给钱我闭嘴，只要权力大我就闭嘴，我就跟你一样说，我听你的。大家都想知道我今天为什么带这2个胸章。当你们知道这个明白的时候，我坐在这儿讲的时候，就一定是没有共产党的时候。我给大家简单的说，一个是钱，一个是枪，别误会了啊！这个旗可不是共产党的旗，是我们的力量。共产党不说枪杆子出政权吗？啊，我们今天有一句话：现代的政治文明，现在的真正的革命者，我们相信的是用你的枪杆子给我们人民出政权。我们不用枪杆子，咱们走着看。灭共必须需要足够的钱，必须有足够的力量，叫力量。我们现在万事俱备。亲爱的兄弟姐妹们，一边是国际上最伟大的力量对我们的支持，一边是我们国内战友的支持。